Hi. So today we're discussing a very key concept in Notion where we're going to do something different than what usually Notion offers. So Notion has inbuilt formulas which we can use to derive a lot of calculations. But today we're going to understand how we can use Excel-like formulas in Notion, and we're going to particularly talk about the sum function. Okay. So here I have a sales database on screen which has the date field, the product, the category, quantity, revenue, payment method, and sales channel. So this is a database that I've created for this demonstration purpose, and I want to find these three relevant information from this database. The very first thing that I'm looking to find is the total sales revenue, which is the revenues total and which is already available over here. But I want to put this revenue number in a different database. Okay. So let me quickly create a database over here so that we get a clear understanding of what I'm trying to talk about. So I just type in database and you can see it is showing inline. I'll click on this. I will rename this to, let's say, db underscore sales revenue total. Okay. So I've renamed this, and let me hide this title, and I will rename this one as well as sales revenue total. Okay. So I'm trying to find the total sales amount. So this will be like description, and this will be like the amount column. Okay, where we will be looking to derive the amount value from that database that is presented over here. So basically, this will say like total sales revenue is equivalent to 1537. So this will like show us 1537. Okay, but I just manually type this value. We are going to get it through a formula. Okay, now ideally what we will be using is a relation and roll up thing to understand to get that value over here, but I'm not going to go into the complexities of understanding relation and roll up. In fact, we're not even going to use a single notion formula. Instead, we will use a different tool which will help us derive that value over here. Okay, so for this, we will be required to log into myformulagen.com. This is the tool that we'll be using for the day. So we need to log into this particular tool, myformulagen.com, and once we log in, you will be able to see this kind of screen interface on your screen. And we need to add certain information over here in order to derive the exact results what we're looking for. The very first thing that we need to do is we need to set up an API key which will connect these databases with this particular tool, okay, through Notion's API. So just click on settings over here and click on get API key. It will load up a new screen where you can create your own personal API key which will be only accessible to your own dashboard. So I'll click on new integration. I'll give it a name. So let's say it is uh, some formula key. Okay, and I will select my workspace. This is the accountant guy workspace which I'm currently in over here, and I will click on save. So I have created a new key over here right away, and right now let me just go back to integrations, and you can see this particular key which has been created right away. Okay, click on this and you will be able to see this internal integration secret popping up. Click on show, it will present to you the entire API key. Click on copy. So we need to copy this entire API key from here, and we need to paste it over here in the Notion API key field. Okay, so I'll just control V or command V, click on save settings, and the new API key is stored in this particular tool. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is make sure all the databases whichever you are using, you put it under the sales dashboard page. So if you see under the sales dashboard, I have both the databases set up. Click on these three dots over here and click on connections, and click on like sum. Just type in sum and you will be able to see this particular key that you created. Whatever name you have used for the key, just type in that value. It will show over here. Click on this and click on confirm. So now you can see that this particular page is connected with this particular API key. That means everything within that page, including the databases, are also connected with that particular API key. And we have already given the API key over here. The next thing that we need to do is we need to enter the database from where we are going to derive the values, whatever we're looking out for. So in this case, we are going to use the sales database from where we are going to derive the revenue number. So what I'll do is I'll simply hover over this database, and you can see there is this six dots coming up. Click on this, click on copy link. So this database link is copied. If you open a new tab and paste this link, you will be able to see the database reflecting in an entire Notion page. Okay, just like this. And if you're just getting confused, you can also open up this database in another page and also connect this database from here. So you will notice that this database is by default connected to this API key. Okay, So we need this database to be connected to that API key through this connections window. And just copy this link from here. Let me close this and paste it over here. Okay. As soon as you paste it, you will be able to see that this notion property field is enabled. So what we will exactly do is we will find the sum of the revenue field that we have over here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just simply click sum over here, and I will select the revenue field from here, and I want to find the sum for all the rows. So you have a lot of options, like you can find odd rows, even rows, custom rows that you can like manually define, or even a range. Okay. But in this case, I'm looking for all the rows, so I'm going to go from start till the bottom, and I'll just click on calculate. Okay. Okay, so we need to remove the second filter, which is added by default. We don't need the second filter. And with this filter only, we will just calculate, and you will be able to see that value is coming up. Okay. So it is showing $1,537. So by default, whenever you just create a new formula, you will have an additional condition over here. You can just opt to remove this condition, and because we need only one condition over here, and it is finding the sum of the revenue for all the rows that we have. Okay, so it is counting from very start to the very end, and it is giving us the total sum. Okay, if you want, you can go with the odd rows calculation, and it will calculate all the summation value for odd rows, meaning the first row, the third row, the fifth row. It will calculate like this. Okay, and we have other options like even rows, custom rows. If you want to manually like define particular rows and hit sum, like hit calculate, so it will calculate the summation of like in this case I have defined first and second row. It will calculate for this first and second row, and it gives us the summation over here. Okay, but in this case I'm looking for all the rows. I'll just click on calculate, and it will show me the value. But we got this value in this particular tool, right? How do we get this value on this database, like in this particular field? For that, you need to click on add to notion, and it is asking me for the second database, like where I want to put this value, in which database. Okay, so I want to put the value in this database that we have over here. Simply click on this six dots, click on copy link. If you are in doubt, just open a new tab and paste the link. You will able to see that database coming up which we just created. Okay, so you can just verify like this. Copy this link, it is the same thing. Go back to this, paste it over here, and now you will be able to see it is asking to put the column name and the row name where we want to enter, like add that particular value, but whatever we generated over here. So in this case, I want to put it in the column amount, and I want to put it in the row total sales revenue. Okay, if you would have had more rows over here, you can manually select, but in this case we're only having one row and one column. I mean two columns and one row. So I'll just select amount column and total sales revenue. So I'll just opt for amount column and total sales revenue. Next, we can click on save to Notion. So you will see that value got popped up over here for our reference, and we need to save this formula. Okay, I will tell you why we need to save this formula. So let us first save this formula. So this is like total sales revenue. So let me copy this value from here. Let me just save this formula and give it a name. Hit save. Okay. So now if you go to the saved formula section, you can see the total sales revenue is coming up over here. Okay, and the beautiful thing is, we didn't even touch any Notion formulas or anything as such, and we got the total sales revenue over here without using relations and rollups. Okay, so now next thing what I can do is I can, let's say, modify these values. You can see the total sum is getting changed. Let me also update some values from here. Now we have 4719, but this is still reflecting 1537, right? So what we can do is, let me also put a summation over here so we get a clear picture. So what we need to do is, whenever you have created a formula over here, simply click on saved formulas and click on refresh all. Okay. What it does is automatically computes that exact formula which we just used, and now you can see it got updated to the exact value which we have over here. Okay, so you just need to click on like save formulas and click on refresh all. All the formulas which will add in due course of time, it will get updated one by one. Okay. Or if you are specifically targeting one formula, click on this refresh over here. It will only specifically target that particular formula. Okay. So the very first thing is done for us. So let me just strike it out. So we have the strike option. So let me strike it out. We are already done. Second thing which we're looking for is, we're going to find the total sales revenue, but only for the March month. So this means I'm looking to find the sales only for the March month, as this is the March data, and I want to find it for the March month. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll click on new formula over here, and we'll repeat the process. I'll just copy this database link, paste it over here. As I do that, you can see this property field gets enabled. So we are looking to find the sum of the revenue. Okay, and we'll consider all the rows, although we need only this first two rows, but we'll define those first two rows condition in the second part. Okay, so if you see this information where I've written it out, I need to find the sum of revenue, that is this particular column, where the date falls between March 1 to March 31st. So the date value needs to fall between the for March 1 to March 31st. Okay, so I can define the date property from here, and I can select the filter like start date. This date needs to fall in between, so I will select is between, and I can manually enter the date over here. So it is like March 1 till March 31st. So this means I am looking to find the sum of the revenue column. So this revenue column for all the rows considered. Okay, and I'm specifically targeting the date column to be between 1st March to 31st March. You can choose any date from here, it will automatically filter out. So I just click on calculate, and you can see it is showing 1145, which is getting calculated from these two rows. So this is 1000 plus 145, which is coming to 1145. Okay. So again, I need to add it to Notion. So let me quickly create another database. So I'll just click on plus. Let me create database, and let me put it like db underscore. So this is what we're finding is sales revenue for March 2025, right? So this is sales revenue March 2025. Okay. So I'll just rename this. So it is like sales revenue March 2025, right? So let me hide this, and again I'll change this description. You can keep it to any column name. It is your wish. So I will just again put it like amount. I'm going with different databases. You can opt to use this one database itself. You can just add like over here March 2025 sales revenue, and during the selection of the column and the row, you can select this particular column and this particular row. Okay, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm using different databases so that we get a clarity. So I'll just copy this value from here. I'll just delete this particular row, and I'll put it over here. Okay, so this is the sales revenue total. This is sales revenue March 2025. Okay, and let me create a three-column layout so that it gets easy for us to check what exactly are we doing. So I'll just drag it and drop it over here, and this database I'll drag it and drop it over here. Okay, so we can see a side-by-side view of what is happening. Okay, so this is total revenue. This is March 2025 revenue. So now, if you see, we can click on Add to Notion as we already calculated the value. Click on Add to Notion, and we need to fetch this second database URL. Copy link, put it over here. It automatically reads the column. Make sure you have placed all these databases inside one page. In that way, you only need to connect this page to that API key, and you don't need to worry about individually connecting all these databases to the API key. Okay, this is more helpful when you are creating this particular using this particular tool. Okay, so I just select the amount column because I want to place it in the amount column, and I want to place it in the March 2025 sales revenue row. Okay, so let me just squeeze it a little bit so we have clear picture. Let me also squeeze this one a little bit. Okay, so now we can see, and let me also squeeze this amount column because it's too big. Yeah, so March 2025 sales revenues, I'll just select that, click on save to Notion. So now you see it is automatically popping up over here, and let me save this formula with the same name, like total sales revenue for March 2025. Okay, so I'll save it. So the new formula is saved over here. Okay, so now what I want to show is, let me quickly change this March value. So let's say it is 230. So our March figure should update, and the total revenue should also update, right? So I will click on refresh all, and you can see these two values will get updated automatically. Okay. So let's wait for a few seconds as it is syncing. So you can see it is 3949, which is the total sum, and the March value will also get updated. So it is 230 plus 145, which will reflect over here. Yeah. So you can see this value that is being shown. So 230 plus 145, it is coming 375, right? So we are using the same formulas window to sync all these values. And finally, for the last part, we need, so this is done. So let me strike it out. For the last part, we need the sales revenue for the quarter 1 2025 for the software category. Okay, so if you see, we have got a category column. I need for the software category of how much sales it has made for the first quarter. Okay, so we have two conditions given to the sales part. So let's create it. So I'll just click on new formula, and this time again I will copy this link. uh, I'll just copy this link. So this is very simple tool which you can use. You don't need to go through hassles of using notions, relation, rollup, and all this stuff. So I need to find the sum, right? Just we have a lot of functions available. I will be disclosing one by one all the functions in future videos. For this, we are just using summation function. I'll use sum, and I need to find the sum of the revenue for all the rows. Okay, but I need to define where the date falls between January 1 till March 31st, because that is the first quarter. Okay, so I need to add the condition. So I need to define the date. uh, the start date should be between. Okay, you have a lot of options, like you can exclude a particular date, or you can select one specific date. A lot of things are there. Okay, so I'll just select is between, and I'll select this to be January 1, 2025 till 31st of March 2025. Okay, so I'll just select this. But along with this, we also have another condition. We need to define the category to be software, okay, because that is what we're looking out for. Okay, so make sure in this we have an and condition and or condition. Here we need to define and, because these two conditions must be imposed. We are not looking for either software category sales or quarter one sales. We're looking for software category, and it should fall in quarter one, right? So we need to have and condition. Click on this duplicate. So it duplicates the entire thing that you did over here, and change all these conditions. You can even click on plus over here, it will add a new condition. So I'll just define the category from here. So the category needs to be uh, software, right? So I'll just copy this value. Category is software. You have a lot of conditions like category cannot be something, or category is empty, or something like that. But here we are only exclusively looking at this. So let's read this. We're looking to find the sum of the revenue for all the rows considered, where the date falls between the 1st of Jan till 31st of March, which is the first quarter. And this is very key over here. And the category needs to be in software category. Okay. Let's click on calculate and let's see what it does. So it gives us $230. I mean 230. So if you see the database, let me first filter this out so that we get a clear view. I only need the software part, and we need only for the first quarter, that is from Jan till March, right? So this is the only data that we have. So it is coming to $30. I mean 230 is the revenue, right? Which is coming over here. You have an option to set it as per different currencies. That is why I always keep referring to dollars and everything. You can choose your currency if you want to reflect in another currency. So let's say I'm choosing rupees. It's showing in rupees, but this is only for the presentation over here. You also have a number format, decimal places, and all this stuff, percentage as well. So now since we have calculated, click on add to notion, define the database URL. So we're going to require the third database. So let me create another database inline. This time the database will be like db underscore sales underscore category underscore q1 2025, right? So this is the database that we're using, and I'm going to rename this to quarter one 2025 total sales, right? 2025 total sales. Okay. So I will just create two columns once again. So this will be like description. The process is same. I mean, you can use the existing database, or you can add more databases. So I'll just click on amount. Let me put it as number. I just add a new page. So this is like Q1 2025 sales for software. Right? Got it. So this is like Q1 2025 sales for software. Let me copy this database link. Okay. Paste it over here. We have this database link. You can see it is reading the columns and rows. Again, we need to have API keys added to this database. That is must. Select the particular column. So I need to put it in amount column for this particular row. That is Q1 2025 sales row, right? I'll select that particular row. Click on save to notion. It automatically creates that value over here. Okay. Let me next squeeze it a little bit. So now let's click on save formula. So this will be like this particular value. So let me copy this, paste it over here, click on save. Okay. So now if you see, we have got three formulas saved. All this is exceeding the boundary. I will be rectifying this in the next updates. We can okay, let me just click on. So once you click on any of these formulas, it opens up the formulas in the field that you have added earlier. Okay, so let me click on this, and it opens up all the pre-existing values over here. Let me click on save formula once again, and I can change this. Okay, so let's say for software, I'll just keep it up till here. It is too long. Okay, click on save. So it is showing over here. So let me delete the previous value that we had created. So this is the new formula that we just created after this. So now we have three formulas showing up over here, and let me quickly change some values so we can see. So I'm just going to change the software value to, let's say, 115, and let me also change this date to maybe, let's say, March 30. Okay, I will put maybe, let's say, 800. So for the March month, it is now showing like 915, right? Which falls in quarter one. So I need to click on this particular refresh, and it will automatically update for that particular field. So you can see 915 is automatically reflecting. Okay. So and if you click on refresh all these values will again update. So the total sales value, the March number, and the Q1 number will also update if there is any changes. Okay. So it is still refreshing. Let me remove this filter. So you can see the total sales is 4469, which is reflecting over here. March 2025 sales number is now okay. So let me just put a filter over here as well, so we can see from March 1. So this is like start date is between March 1 till March 31st. Okay, so we have like 1060. So this is for March sales, which is reflecting over here, and Q1 2025 figure is 915 for the software category. Okay, so for the software category, if you remove the digital product, so if I add the second filter over and just select software, you can see it is showing 950, which is reflecting over here. So whenever you're making changes in the original database, just click on this saved formulas and click on refresh all. It will automatically update all the formulas that you have created, and everything else will update automatically. So this part is also done. So we just understood how we can use this formula, my formula gen tool, to generate custom formulas for a requirement without understanding how Notion formulas work. And I believe this is pretty much simple to use for a use case, and it is very dynamic. As you can select any particular field, and there are a lot of options available. You can go with multiple operators and keep on compiling the additions of the conditions, and you can get the desired result. Okay. I hope this explanation was helpful to you. If you have any queries, please feel free to reach out to me at notion for my use at the rate gmail.com. So let me type out my email ID over here. So it is like notion for my use at the rate gmail.com. So this is where you can reach out to me, and I will be happy to assist you further on these queries if you have any. Okay, so I'll be adding more videos, like I will be covering every Excel formula. So make sure you stay subscribed, and please share and like this video, and share your comments or whatever you feel about this particular demonstration. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye bye.